I'm Conor, and I think I want to be a farmer. So, as I was saying, my name is Conor. I'm actually a software engineer, which is as far from farming as you can get. My days are spent inside, sitting at a desk. But for some reason, I want to farm. I love being outside, and it looks like I've already taken that leap. Here I am on my new land. It's a 3.8 acre holding with the house, and I guess of that about 2.85 is pasture, as you can see behind me. The land is good. It's pretty fertile, untouched for about 20 years, apart from a couple of ponies that were on it. So I got into farming and growing, I guess, in the last 3 or 4 years. I've consumed countless hours of content on YouTube, and what initially was just a sort of passing interest in the likes of Charles Dowding and Richard Perkins and the whole no-dig growing. So I also signed up to a distance learning course in organic horticulture in Limerick. I'm in year 2 of that, and I have learned quite a lot so far. And it just felt like I need to put this into practice now, before it's just something that was a passing interest, which I think at this point that danger has passed. Last year I just really stepped up the hunt for a new house and some land, and I'm just feel so lucky to have landed here in Middleton on this fantastic piece of land, this blank canvas, this blank overgrown green canvas. And I just really wanted to start putting some of that knowledge into action, because, as I said, I don't have that experience yet. I haven't really got my hands dirty, excuse the pun. This is the start of it. Let's see where it goes. So I'm based about 5 minutes outside of a small market town close to Cork City called Middleton. It's a population of about 10 or 12,000. The location here was really fitting in that, we have our few acres, but we're just 5 minutes from this bustling market town. And if things do ever get going here, I know there's a huge customer base, and Middleton is particularly kind of known for its food production. There's an excellent farmers market here on Saturday, so it's got that kind of culture of food and growing in the area. The land is reputed to be very fertile. I kind of get that feeling already. I've dug a couple of holes around here, and just looking at the texture and colour of the soil, I mean, I haven't got it analysed yet, but I'm pretty confident it's going to be a good place to grow. So the other thing you've probably noticed, I don't know if you can hear, but it is windy, very windy. If you look around me, you can see how exposed we are. We're actually about 120 meters above sea level, and there's no windbreak, which is why I've started a hedgerow on this side. So getting up hedgerows is one of my first priorities. Young plants will just not survive in this wind, so I just think it's apparently one thing that's overlooked a lot in farms. And one of the first things I noticed when I got here was the wind, so it's just got to be a priority to get up windbreaks. And I think even with the market garden I'm going to have to incorporate some kind of green windbreak netting around these, because the young plants just, they will not survive. So the general plan for this year is to really build up from infrastructure and some of the more permanent features. And I really need to be careful about these, because permanent features are permanent. So I want to design the farm in a way that's ergonomic, that reduces the amount of steps I need to take and allows for expansion. So what I'm going to do is stick to the most southern acre of the land for the first few years. One of the first things I'm currently doing is the hedgerow up the east boundary. It's going to run along the south boundary, and I'm also going to split it about halfway through north and south, so that we have a workable acre for the market garden. Then this year we'll also try to get up some vegetable beds. So I'm going to go for the no-dig approach. I have my reasons for that. I'm not dogmatic about it. I'm open to other approaches, but to me this just fits. It fits in my plan for soil building and minimizing the amount of labor I need to do, because I'm just one person and I also have a job and I have other activities. I train as a distance runner, so I guess I need to figure out how to do the minimum amount of work with the biggest impact. So no dig seems to fit there, and also just the benefits for the soil. It feels like you're working more with nature than against it, reducing weed pressure and allowing the fungal network remain intact. So no-till beds, I'm planning on standardizing these to accommodate a lot of the current market garden tools, which, for example, rakes and bed rollers, tilters, are all typically 30 inches or 75 centimeters. So that just makes sense to me, and also ergonomics. You can kind of stand each side of a row and harvest. So my beds will be 75 centimeters wide with a 30 centimeter wood chip path. I think they're going to be 10 meters in length. I'm not sure on that yet. So in order to get going here and get up and running, I am going to need a lot of compost. To build effective no-dig beds, you're talking about a depth of probably 8 to 10 centimeters of compost. And if you think about that, you're talking well over 100 tons easily. So I don't like the idea of importing that, but it's just not feasible for me to make that compost. So it's just something that'll have to be done. It's a once-off. It's going to be a big cost, but it's an investment into the health of the farm, because without healthy soil, it's just it's not going to work. In between the market garden vegetable beds, I hope to plant a few fruit trees. I think this just makes sense in terms of offering a bit of shade, but also just nice aesthetically, and kind of uses the space in between the vegetable plots nicely. God, I'm freezing. Whew. I'm planning on having polytunnels. They just make a lot of sense in terms of season extension, being able to grow fruit and vegetables that typically wouldn't grow here in Ireland. I'll either get 1 or 2 of those up this year, depending how things are going. And I want the place to be beautiful. I want it to be a place where people can come with families and enjoy it. Maybe even pick your own fruit and vegetables at some point, but I just want this to be an aesthetically pleasing and beautiful place to come. So that's why I think the design is important now. I want an area near the front of the farm that can be used just as maybe a community area where people can come and pick up their vegetables, and we can have some picnic tables and maybe a small pond there. And I think having a lot of pollinating plants across the farm will not only increase the biodiversity and the pollination impact, but adds a lot of beauty. Minimising waste on the farm is going to be another big priority for me, which means building my own compost and reusing as much waste as I can. And of course, there's so much local waste around as well. So this area has a strong equestrian tradition as well, which could work out well in my favour in terms of free hospital. I already got in touch with some local arborists who dropped over, I think, about 3 to 4 tons of wood chip recently. So again, that's somebody else's waste, and that was a vital input for the hedgerow planting to keep the weeds down as a mulch.